Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Welcome to Where Energy Meets the Divine. I'm Manuchehri. Thank you for being here. I hope that we have a wonderful time together, that we enjoy and learn and create amazing community, which, by the way, leads me to something kind of interesting that I'm participating with on the Shift Network. So the Shift Network, for those of you who don't know, it's this wonderful online community where teachers like myself become faculty members, and we teach different classes. So I've been on the Shift Network pretty regularly for the last 3 to 4 years. It's really fun. They have a huge audience and people are like-minded. It's really quite lovely. So right now I'm with Stephen Dinan, who's the CEO of the Shift Network, and we are doing a weekly membership type of gathering for 6 months. We just had our first one today. We had a whole hour-long description about it and talk about it. It's really cool. And it's called the Higher Perception Circle. And it's really to help everyone be okay during this interesting time that we're in. Learn to stay present, be focused on yourself, and help your own life manifest and grow, but also allowing our beautiful higher perception circle, the community, to raise their vibration and frequency together to help bring positive energy to Earth. So that we can create a better government, more integrity, all the stuff that us older souls really want to have in every country in the world, by the way. In every country in the world. So if you want to learn more about it, you can go to the Shift Network. You can put my name into the search engine or Higher Perception Circle. We meet every Wednesday for just a half an hour. And Stephen talks about a few of the current concerns. Sometimes he talks about what we want for the future. And our goal really is to send energy all the way out to 2030 so we can have a fantastic, amazing experience. And then I lead a meditation. And people in our class get to also ask questions or share information. It's really fun. You could also go to my website, energyintuitive.com, go to my course page, and there's a beautiful picture of it. You can click on it on the link and sign up. So it's really fun. The energy is amazing. Something to think about. And before we go to the phone line to talk about what people have personal questions about, and I will answer those for them, I want to talk about some of the things I've already asked you to consider doing, or I've made suggestions for others. Some of the more common ones, I'm going to talk about why I make these suggestions. And I'm also going to talk about something else, which is kind of near and dear to my heart. I love doing certain things to create youth in my body and my skin. So I'll talk a little bit about those, and I'll make sure that we put some links about it so that you can follow up on those if you want to. So one of the things I often recommend is serrapeptase. Serrapeptase is a prolific digestive enzyme. So it's nothing like the regular digestive enzymes that you take for GI disturbance. In fact, serrapeptase isn't for GI disturbance, at least it hasn't helped me in that way. I don't take digestive enzymes any longer, but I did for years and years and years when my hormones started to change. So hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol, and there's a whole bunch of other ones, smaller ones, like GPL1 is a hormone. They are anti-inflammatory mechanisms. And so when people tend to chronologically change, then our hormones deplete and we can get symptoms like GI upset. So people take digestive enzymes, which are very different, things that have pepsin in it that help your stomach digest food. So it's not sitting there because maybe you don't have enough acid or enough enzymes in your stomach to really digest it. So they take digestive enzymes. But this particular prophylactic digestive enzyme has a much bigger purpose. It's really great for Lyme's disease. So If you've been bitten by a tick before, or you've been diagnosed with Lyme's disease, which really needs to be diagnosed pretty early on, saving the tick if you find one and sending it to the CDC, because at least historically they would test them to let you know if there's any viruses or bacteria or problems within the tick that you sent to them that was in your body. They'll let you know. So it's really great for Lyme's disease. Serrapeptase eats up proteins. It's also great for joint disease. So it gets rid of stuff in the body that we don't need. It's great for cardiovascular disease. It helps to eat up plaque. It's really amazing. That's why they call it prophylactic. I'm not saying that word very well, because it can do so many big picture things for the physical body. Is it for everyone? No. Just like all vitamins aren't for everyone, all supplements aren't for everyone. Serrapeptase can thin the blood a little bit. And so if people are on blood thinners, it's not recommended. So I always say if you're on prescription medication and you want to take a supplement, I think it's always good to have it checked out, especially if it's not a common supplement like serrapeptase. Some people have never heard of it. I always love it when I meet a health practitioner who knows what serrapeptase is. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what it is? Because I had no idea what it was until one night I was woken up in the morning and I just got on YouTube and Googled some, annoying health thing that I had, and serrapeptase came up, and it's wonderful. So it's great for joint pain, people who have arthritis or other joint issues, because it eats up proteins. It eats up proteins that are in the joint, which can lead to a lot of joint issues. So it's a fabulous supplement. And again, if you're on pharmaceuticals or you just aren't sure, ask people, ask practitioners, ask licensed pharmacists or naturopaths, or your MD could look up the information if they're unfamiliar with the supplement and do some research. I think really good doctors recognize they don't know everything, and they're willing to take the time to look it up and research it for their patients, because that's their job, in my opinion. So that's why I recommend that a lot when I'm talking to individuals. I may even hear in the back of my mind, old Lyme's disease, which sometimes it's so fast, and I just know that the cure for that, or the potential decrease of symptoms, is serrapeptase. I may not bring up the Lyme's disease. It's not intentional. It's just, it's happening so fast in my mind, and the person isn't complaining about symptoms related to Lyme's disease, but it's in there. It's in my psychic Rolodex. Another thing I often recommend is near infrared and red light therapy. I like two particular companies, but there are many out there. I love Red Rush, which makes smaller panels. And I also like Platinum Therapy. They're both very good companies, have good lighting, they last a long time, they're FDA approved. I'm sure there's other companies out there that probably fall under those same criteria. I've used those machines as well. So that's another reason why I recommend them. And why would I recommend red light therapy? A whole bunch of reasons. One, it's a mood elevator. So it helps people be in higher states of joy and happiness. It is great for your skin, collagen, eczema, psoriasis. It's wonderful for your body. You don't have to spend a lot of time. You could do 5 minutes. And I think the recommendation is 10 to 20 minutes a day, but I often do 5 minutes at a time. I sometimes do 5 minutes in the morning or 5 minutes in the evening. It's great for bone health. It's great for blood. It feeds the mitochondria. So the mitochondria are these garbage disposal type particles inside your cells. So their job is to release toxins, but mitochondria can get tired. If anybody's had any environmental toxins, the mitochondria are one of the first to kind of, I don't want to say die off, because they're not leaving the cell, but they're not productive. And then we have more autoimmune issues. So if you've been to a naturopath or an allopathic physician and you've had chronic health issues, they may tell you that your mitochondria needs to recover. And I know there are certain supplements, I don't know what they are, I haven't been attracted to that as of yet, that can feed the mitochondria, but near infrared and red light therapy, a mixture that's measured in a particular way, works excellent. It's also great for cardiac health. It's great for muscles. It's really quite endless in terms of what it could do. The only caveat to red light, near infrared and red light therapy, and that this has not been researched. So we don't know yet, or it hasn't been researched enough, but it is because it feeds cells. People of science have some concern that maybe it would feed cancer. They don't know for sure, but I've actually successfully recommended that someone who had a tumor in their hand that wasn't going away, even with surgery, to use red light therapy, near infrared and red light, and it went away. So you have to use your intuition anyway. And so if you've had a health issue like that, or you currently have one, use your intuition. Ask your doctors about it. Because again, they could look up and do research. And I'm sure there'll be research coming out in the near future where they've looked at cancer patients and done near infrared and red light therapy, and they'll be able to give some good parameters. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I also recommend often HPA integrative therapeutics, adaptive herbs. And these are great for supporting hormones, all hormones. It has things in it like holy basil, maca root, ashwagandha. It's just amazing. And their formula isn't super unique. There is one patent ingredient in it. So obviously I don't know what it is exactly. But there are many formulas similar to HPAadapt by Integrative Therapeutics. But this one just seems to be extraordinary. I've been taking it for over a decade. I take it every morning. You can take multiple capsules. You can start off with one. I take 4 a day. So first thing in the morning with an empty stomach, same with serrapeptase. And it balances hormones. Like your cortisol level really needs to be balanced. Too many people are in fight or flight. And so we need to have things like ashwagandha, holy basil, and things to support the hormones that you do have with the maca root, so that we can avoid things like elevated levels of cortisol, which are not in our best interest whatsoever. They're not in our best interest. So those are just a few things that you may hear me go, oh, and you're like, wow, she always is recommending this. Well, now you know why. And then I'm a fan of microcurrent for muscles and face and neck. I would just wish there was a machine you could just step in it. It would press on your whole body and deliver microcurrent to make your muscles contract in areas where it's more challenging. Like you can go to the gym and work on your abs and your legs and your arms, but there are 47 muscles in your face, and a ton in your neck. And it helps us to keep our facial integrity. You know, our eyes, our nose, our mouth, our ears, everything needs to be uplifted to function well. So I love microcurrent. I've been doing it for years. And one of the devices I like is by 7 Wellness. It's called Myolift. And it has a little bit of a learning curve. I'm not going to fudge on that. It has these little probes. Microcurrent does not hurt. You put like a gel, you can use aloe if you want to, on your face. There's different serums like hyaluronic acid. You're not supposed to use creams. And you put these probes on your muscles, and it allows the muscles to strengthen through that current that's being passed into your face. It's actually really good for your body. I think it's good for bones too. I think it's very powerful. And then Bio-Therapeutics, which is a Seattle-based company, they have their first home device. So estheticians around the world, this is their top of the line microcurrent. I do see an esthetician regularly to do a professional microcurrent on my face and neck. And but now they have a home device. It's really cool. It works really great. You do have to buy it from a clinician though. So from a spa, or if you have an esthetician, they can order it for you if they don't carry it. And it's really simple. It's also not very expensive, but it has like a claw, and you just like push, you open up the claw and it pushes on your face and your muscles, and you leave it there for, I don't know, so many seconds, and then you release. So it's really easy to use. You do use some of their fluid on it that doesn't have a lot of gel in it. A lot of the fluids you can just leave on because they have really good properties for your skin. So if there's something you wanted to do that's natural and healthy and can help the muscles stay stronger, which I think is really good even around the orbital cavity, so we can keep our skin healthy and lifted so that we aren't feeling uncomfortable as we're trying to look at something and our skin is sagging around our eyes and we can't see. Right. I always think of that really cute rom-com with Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin. It's called It's Complicated. And she's in the elevator to go see a plastic surgeon about, this extra skin she has around her eye because she can't see when she's reading, and she's lifting it up. And she goes to the plastic surgeon and he says, you need an eyebrow lift. And, they have to cut right here. And she's going to have a headache for 6 months. And she's like, and leaves. Right? So I think there are natural ways and remedies. You can also study face yoga, which I highly recommend. You just go to YouTube, find some face yoga practitioners that you like, and learn how to move your face to lift your muscles everywhere. I mean, it's wonderful. It's the gym for your face. Okay, I hope those things are helpful. And now I'm going to head to the phone lines so I can start to answer people's questions. Very excited for all the fun we're going to have today.
Hi, Marie. This is Ingrid calling from Seattle. I lost my daughter 2 years ago in a freak accident. She was 20. We were so close. I miss her so terribly. Our whole family has been pretty devastated by it, obviously. I do hear from her. Like, I can hear her even in my head. I get signs. I get dream visits.
Wow.
I've definitely heard very evidential things from mediums. So I've been going down that road, reading everything I can and listening to podcasts like yours. And I guess I'm still having a hard time sort of seeing how to go forward in life. Just seems like all the color left when she left. Feels pretty black and white. And, I just don't have a lot of, care for much else going on. My work's okay. Of course I love my family, but I don't know. It just sort of seems a little pointless without her.
Aww.
And I know that she wouldn't want that, but I'm just struggling with how to go forward. And I just would love some advice. And maybe if you have a message from her, I always love those because I don't really totally trust myself that I'm hearing it all right. But yeah, so anyway, thanks again. I appreciate all that you do. Bye.
You're welcome, Ingrid. And I'm very, very sorry for your loss. I truly am. And again, how we've been conditioned, that's the worst thing that could ever happen to us. So it's hard to get the light back on. It's hard to be in that vibration because even my reaction, I'm so sorry. So your beautiful daughter, and she's gorgeous, by the way. So are you. She says she looks a lot like you. She loves the other side. She just kind of runs around the room as if she's running into rainbows, just beautiful colors. If the color's like pudding almost, and her fingers, which of course she doesn't have a body on the other side, but beings show me to the best of their ability or to the best of my ability to understand what they looked like prior to the time that they left their body most of the time. Some people don't like the way they looked before they passed and they show me years younger. Yeah, not your daughter, of course. So she's just running through these rainbows. Her eyes are bright and open. She's smiling. She's excited, chest forward, and she's just having a wonderful time. She loves the other side. I mean, in a way, she's kind of a hippie at heart, and she's in the hippie world, where everything is sunshine and rainbows and beautiful and kind and loving, and she likes it there. She really likes it. I can see why it feels like the light's gone. I mean, for all the reasons, we've already discussed or that you shared, I would definitely consider some red light therapy because it's a mood elevator. And when you feel that connection from her, it raises your mood. So yes, Ingrid, she's having a wonderful time on the other side, which I know can be kind of confusing. Like, but I miss her. I want to spend more time with her. I would love for you to consider, because when souls come to Earth and a soul leaves at a young age that's part of a family member, which could be a child, a parent, a spouse, there is a discussion prior to reincarnation that this could very well happen. And the people who are living, especially the people who are the closest in relationship to the one who's decided to transition, they are agreeing to this or choosing it prior to reincarnation. I know, but leaving young is such a big deal on Earth. Again, it could be a parent that leaves when their children are young. not always just a child leaving when they're young. It could be a spouse that passes away early on in a marriage, or when the parents have toddlers. So these are considered significant losses, and certain things that we encounter only on Earth, like physical loss, because when you're outside of a physical reality like Earth, you don't have a body that can't be lost, that can't transition, right? We're just pure energy. We can take any form we want. We can look like rocks or trees or other things that I may not know about while I'm here with most of my consciousness in this physical reality. So there's something for you to learn as well in this entire experience. And typically the main kind of collective reason why there is a young loss in a family is so that the family members can learn to surrender, get out of the way. Perhaps there's a soul within the family dynamics that really wants to learn to not be in control. And, no one's in control anyway, but some people do everything they can to control their environment. And they're usually not conscious of it. I mean, I meet more people who are unconscious of their controlling pattern than I meet people who are conscious of their controlling pattern. So what could be helpful for you is to be curious, because this will help your intuition expand. And maybe one of the things you want to learn too is to be a medium, to help other people have the connections that you've had with your daughter, because it's much harder to read energy for oneself. It's much harder to have experiences with our departed loved ones, with our own family members. It's much easier to do it with a complete stranger. Yeah, ask any psychic, they'll tell you. So that could be one of the reasons why you may have agreed to the possibility of this experience, because souls have free will and they have different exit points, during their life span, during a lifetime on Earth. And so there's no guarantee that someone's going to exit at an early age. But when souls are choosing family members, they know if there's a strong possibility. They know that. So if you got curious about this whole control idea, and it doesn't have to look like my picture, different things have different meanings to different people, different life experiences. But if you got curious about this control thing and started to open up your mind to the bigger picture of whatever that looks like, your daughter's giving me a thumbs up, that could help enhance your psychic ability and your ability to have more consistent, fulfilling experiences with your daughter that fill you up beyond that moment, that just touch your soul so deeply. It's as if she's never left. That's why it's so important to be in the present moment all the time, because we never know when anyone's going to leave. I mean, I was one of those parents that I was so happy when my kids made it to 18, because I truly believed in the soul's decision, and I didn't know what my children had decided in their reincarnation experience. I didn't know. I still don't know. I don't know how long they want to be on the planet. I don't know how long I want to be on the planet. It's a very sacred thing between a soul and God, a soul and the universe. And so when my kids, each one turned 18, I was like, even though I'm not a practicing Catholic, I was just like, thank you so much. We made it to 18. Yay. And maybe because, older souls have had lifetimes in physical realities. It wasn't too long ago that many children died of disease. And, where even though this is somewhat of a debatable topic, at least in the United States, about vaccines, but people forget how many children succumb to diseases or had lots of complications because of measles and mumps, rubella, whooping cough, polio. They forget about it because we've had decades of people not having any of those diseases. I mean, I still don't know anyone who's had measles. I don't know anyone. Yeah. And I've been on the planet for over 60 years. So I think a lot of people used to prepare for that type of potential experience. That's why a lot of people in different generations would have a lot of children, because they would just anticipate that potentially something could happen, or an accident. We didn't have the surgical skills that we have today, or the antibiotics we have today, or the non-viral medications that we have today. We didn't have those things, which we have today. But if you could get open about the control aspect, and it may not be about you, it could be about someone else in the family, or it could be about multiple people in the family, since it affected everyone so deeply because there was such a close bond between yourself and this incredible, amazing spirit. And then consider, because I wrote it down, consider mediumship. You like the topic anyway. You're interested in it. You want to hear what mediums have to say. What about you and mediumship? Start opening up your mind to that, because that can be a motivator to get someone to work in the spiritual realm, is to have their own multisensory connection, right? Yeah. Cool. Great question. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Susan from New Zealand. I was married for 26 years and I love my husband very much, but I didn't feel his love back for a long time. He had a really, really angry energy, and I just felt it just heaped all over me all the time. And I really felt like my soul parted during one of those anger sessions, and the universe was telling me to leave, and I did leave. It did take a lot of energy, but I did leave, and I have a place of my own now, and I do have peace. And I'm trying to find myself again and make a new life for myself. I've done a lot of sleeping. I feel like I'm a cat in the sun. So I wondered if you might do an energy scan for me to see where the leaks are. Also, my chakras, after listening to your previous podcasts, are these blocked? I sort of feel like my base chakra must be blocked.
Right. Not blocked.
I really want to heal, hear, feel, see my intuition and guidance. And I've always been a joyful person, but just now I just do feel so sad all the time. This ending of my marriage, I'm wondering, did I do the right thing by leaving? Because now that I have left, he has lost his anger. So just wondering if you can confirm that I did do the right thing, but to guide me, to help me find my joy again, and yes, about the leakage of my energy, because I'm sure it must be draining somewhere. Anyway, thank you so much for all that you do. I love listening, and I look forward to hearing your answer when you get my message. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you, Susan. And I just want you to know that you can't make a mistake. None of us can. Even if we do something that looks so earthly mistaken, you can't make a mistake. It's impossible. We're all souls having experiences, and souls are very curious creatures. They want to have lots of experiences. So I think this sadness was even there in the marriage, right? So sometimes if we just change an outer aspect, like, of course, leaving a relationship is a big deal, but it still may not help heal the pattern inside of you of something that you want to heal that's probably not even related to the marriage. I would do some near infrared and red light therapy if you feel like you're a good candidate for that, because it is a mood elevator, right? That helps a lot. I don't know when you left this message, but probably Neptune moved into Aries since you left this message. So you might be feeling better. Plus, we had so many planets retrograde and a lot of fire planets retrograde, a lot of powerful planets retrograde, and they're all direct now. So you might be feeling better here on May 7th than you were when you left this message originally. But you made no mistake. When I drew out your energy, and it would be from today, right? That you have a leak in your root chakra. So there's something about, and it's significant, which can make you very tired. It's not the best for your health. The first chakra has a personal relationship to the first layer of the auric field. And the first layer of the auric field is this beautiful hologram of all of your anatomy and physiology in complete and total health circulating around you. So it's like there's a liver on there, and reproductive organs, and a brain, and a bladder, bones, tissue, the Krebs cycle, insulin, iron, vitamin D, all of this synthesis is happening in the first layer of your auric field. And that first layer is supposed to tell your human body what health looks like. It's supposed to remind your body what health looks like. And it tells your body how to go back into the health. It's like taking herbs and supplements and eating clean food. When you're pulling energy from the earth, from the first chakra, it will then feed that first layer of the auric field. And that's not happening. The leak is too big. So this is going to be about childhood. And I think it's time to nurture all of your inner children. So maybe read some books on it. If you've learned about it in the past, I would start practicing it, because we need to have these inner children adored and cherished and have self-compassion and love. So that's where your work is. That's where I think the happiness that you're truly seeking is going to be attracted to you. But no, you didn't make a mistake. No. And it's nobody's fault. We live so long these days that staying in long-term relationships may not be in the best interest of everyone, right? I'm not saying that some people don't make great choices. Some people really do. They make excellent decisions about partners, and their partners grow at appropriate times, support each other. They still madly love one another. Excellent. It's wonderful. Good job. But not everybody has done that. And everybody has different areas that will push their button so that they'll do inner work. And some people, it's not relationships, but for a lot of people on earth, it is relationships. So that's what I think. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for leaving your question.
Hi, Marie. My name is Casey, and I am calling to see if you can help me figure out career direction. I'm in HR, specifically employee relations, and I do really enjoy it. I think I'm pretty good at it, but I'm just curious if that's the direction you see me staying in, or if I should go somewhere else. Thank you so much. Bye.
Hello, Casey. So the first thing I would say is if you're asking the question, then you're not fulfilled. Even people can be really good at what they do. I was an excellent nurse. I mean, I'm sure I wasn't the best nurse in the hospital, but I was a really good nurse. I liked to follow protocol. I paid attention to orders. I listened to my supervisors. I listened to patients and other practitioners on the floor. I liked nursing schools. I was good at it. It was easy for me. But eventually, I didn't feel the light, the exuberance, the delight that I had felt before from the moment I entered nursing school until I stopped feeling it, which is about, I think, 8 years, something like that. Yeah, 8 years into my nursing career. So I think what you're experiencing is excellent. Like there's something that needs to change. I would definitely look into the multisensory world aspect since you like people and you enjoy connecting with them. I would say that you probably want to have deeper connections. They're not related to corporate America. So that's what I would be looking at. And so when it comes to career changes, you actually have to explore and investigate. We're in human form. We need to explore. Exploration is required in most instances when it comes to changing something. And so in a career space, perhaps get into the curiosity of would I love to dive deeper with humans about the human experience? And if that's true, then is there a topic that you're interested in? Like, is it psychic ability in general? Is it mediumship? Is it energy medicine? And even if you come to a particular topic for you to start to study or look into or practice with friends, don't think that that's the only topic. When people become psychic, they're psychic. They can cover every topic. I know a lot of people will stay in a certain vein of their intuition, but even mediums will begin to have experiences about their clients' bodies, just like energy healers often also are mediums. So that's what I'm suggesting. Yeah. You're asking this question for a good reason. Trust your intuition, get curious, take action, start exploring, and follow the joy. That's really important for you. Follow the joy. That's the yellow brick road, but you have to explore to know what is the joy, right? You have to explore it. Yeah.
Hi, Marie. This is Ann. I live in North Georgia, United States. I have a question because I have been very fortunate. I took your course in the spring on shift, on the winter spring on shift, and I have been practicing
Thank you.
for the first time successfully meditation. And I have also been living as whenever I can, whenever I remember when I'm not doing it, but I remember to do living in the lower half of my body. and I am listening to your podcast, and very much enjoy, and involved in some practice classes.
Yay.
Uh, and so it's been wonderful. My question to you now is, I am beginning to question my mind, meaning am I losing I'm not losing my mind, but am I not as intelligent? I mean, I just
Oh,
don't hold on to facts.
right.
I just try to live in joy and live in my lower half and meditate, and things aren't getting me as riled up.
Yeah.
And a couple of times I was at a reunion, my 50th high school reunion this weekend, and I I don't know. I just really couldn't answer all the questions. People were going back into their young life,
Right.
and I just was trying to be present. But I thought maybe I need to check with Marie and see, am I getting senile? I am 68,
Uh-huh.
young, but
Yeah.
so that's my question, and I thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anne. And thank you for taking the class. It was one of my favorite classes, an advanced healing course. Just finished it. And now, like I said before at the beginning of this podcast, I'm helping Stephen Dinan with a membership course, Higher Perception Circle. And people can leave whenever they want to. They don't have to stay. It's just a month by month thing for 6 months. Okay. So I would have your testosterone checked just because it's great for memory. But because I think everyone should have their hormones checked, not by a doctor who's going to go, oh, they're fine for your age. No, that's why I say a naturopath who believes in not returning our hormones to our 20s or our 30s, because that's not healthy. We're not in our 20s or our 30s, but we don't want our hormones so depleted that certain things start to have problems like bones and muscles. Testosterone not only helps with memory, but helps with muscles, skin, bones, energy. However, what you're describing here, Anne, is very common and typical, even though please get your hormones checked if you haven't, where when we become present, we're not interested in a lot of unnecessary things. I know it's a problem when I'm out and about in the world. I have to remember to ask people questions that I don't care about, that I'm not interested in, that I don't think matter, because it will make them feel that I'm not interested in them. I already know a lot about them. As people who become present know a lot of important stuff. I don't think I can say that poop word on any of the channels, but there's a lot of beauty in the present moment that's unrelated to the logical mind, where humans want to have these conversations about things that are unimportant when in comparison to the present moment. The present moment is powerful, it's full, it's energized, it's the bigger picture. It's extraordinary. It's where energy builds. And so you're not losing your mind or your memory. You're not becoming senile, which I think you know. Your mind is just no longer interested in facts or a person's perception of facts unless there's some expansive energy, some incredible quality about it. So this is normal. This happens. I've had many clients say to me, now that they get out of their head and they rest in the lower half of their body and they meditate, that they feel like they're not as smart as they used to be because their mind is not holding on to a whole bunch of facts that are unnecessary, unhelpful, unneeded. Yeah, it's fascinating. So you're in good company, and good job. Congratulations.
Hi, Marie. This is Iris. I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm calling about a medical problem I wanted to get some resolution on. It all started in 2021. My mother died, and then shortly thereafter, I went into menopause and had anxiety and panic. And I'm taking hormone replacement therapy now, which seems to be helping.
Great.
But I'm still having trouble resetting my sleep schedule, and I have like sleep anxiety and insomnia.
Right.
And I was wondering how I could resolve that. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome so much. And I'm so sorry about the loss of your mom. She can be funny sometimes. She's actually sitting on your lap. Yeah, trying to be silly. Probably trying to help you to be more silly. If she wasn't silly in life, then she's trying to show you that, wow, I wish we had been more silly because this is way more fun. So what you're really working on is lowering your cortisol levels. So hormone replacement can help with that, but we also need to take herbs and supplements that help with cortisol reduction. There is a supplement also by Integrative Therapeutics. It is called Cortisol Manager, I believe. And they have one for sleep too as well. So that's something to consider, but also know that if your cortisol levels are elevated, which is what you're describing to me, it takes a while. It takes a while for cortisol to move up. It could take years for it to move up, decade even. And then I'm not saying it's going to take decades for it to come down, but it can take a while. So ashwagandha, holy basil, even that HPAadapt can be helpful to manage cortisol levels. Also make sure that you're preparing your sleep area well. Like no TV, no internet. Read a book if that calms you down, or read some poetry. Make the lights low. Make sure your phone's far away from you. All of those, connections can stir up our nervous system. Maybe drink some lemon balm tea before you go to bed, or I actually use a tincture. So I take my progesterone at night. Not all practitioners recommend that. So to me, that needs to be recommended. If you take your progesterone at night, it helps to relax your smooth muscles and helps you to sleep. And then I also take my magnesium at night, my zinc, some amino acids, and I drink lemon balm tea. I actually buy the tincture of lemon balm, and I just put it in some hot water and sip that in my room while I'm in my bed, bringing everything down so you can sleep. So what happens when cortisol levels are elevated, if you don't have a good sleep routine, you're not disrupting that cortisol fire. It's like it's turning on. And then it is very anxious when people have insomnia. It's a very anxious anxiety type of feeling. And make sure all your hormones are checked, not just estrogen and progesterone. Remember, testosterone is the hormone that is even higher than estrogen levels in female bodies. Not higher than male hormones, but higher than estrogen. Kind of interesting. So that's what I'm saying. You're on the right track. Be kind and loving to yourself as you're falling asleep. Like, I'm sorry you're not getting any sleep. I love you so much. Be kind to yourself. That could help you to relax those cortisol levels too. All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening today, for coming together in our lovely podcast community. Charles is coming in here right now because he knows, oh, we can go for a walk now. You going to go for a walk? Yeah, he's ready for walk number 2. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye for now.